Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Scorpionic, Plutonic, 8th house kind of energy. I wanted to talk about this because, I've just been doing a lot of meditating on the sign of Scorpio, and I feel like this is a sign that is often misunderstood by a lot of people, and it's a energy that a lot of people tend to reject and they're just really afraid of. So in this video, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of an in-depth understanding from my perspective on how I view the Scorpio energy and what I believe Scorpios are here to teach people. I believe that Scorpios are known to be the transformers, as it's the sign of transformation, right? So I feel like they come into this life to transform people. Scorpio energy is here to help move along stagnated energy, and that energy could be in many forms: energy of fear, energy of resistance, or energy of just stubbornness. Enforce that universal law of constant change, constant flow, and understanding that life is like a cycle. In tarot, I believe not only is the death card represented by Scorpio, but I also believe the Wheel of Fortune is also represented by Scorpio. And also, the Wheel of Fortune, it does have a picture of an eagle, which is part of the Scorpio evolutionary scale. Because Scorpio, they have like this scale of evolution from scorpion, eagle to phoenix. Scorpio energy is happening all the time to us, when we move from situation to situation, from experience to experience. We get born into an experience in our lifetime, and then that experience exceeds its time limit, and then we die in that experience, and then we get reborn again, and then it just keeps going. It's a whole cycle of life, and that's just how the universe works. It just flows. It's always constantly changing. So that's why I feel when somebody has Scorpio energy, whether they're a Scorpio sun or they're a Scorpio dominant person or a Plutonian, I feel like they have this energy in this lifetime, not only to transform the lives of others, but transform certain things in their chart as well. Because how I see Scorpio energy, when you have Scorpio placements, I see it as these are placements that you've had trouble, transforming. These are placements that have been stagnated, or you've been stubborn about it. There's like a resistance or a fear of this placement. So the whole point of Scorpio energy, especially in the chart, it's to help transform your perception and transform your psychology and your knowledge on that energy. Let's talk about the death card. It's pretty self-explanatory, but that is the card that is ruled by Scorpio. And basically, when you see the death card come up in a tarot reading, basically, it just means something in your life has to change. Change is going to happen regardless, whether you accept it or you resist it. And I feel like the best way to deal with Scorpionic energy is to just welcome it with open arms, because that's when you'll experience the least trauma, because that's the thing with the universe. When you're resisting change or you're just being stubborn, the universe is going to put situations in your life where it's going to force you to change. And a lot of times it could be situations that are very traumatic, situations that stick with you. I just see it as the universe is punishing you for going against universal law. Because like I said, universal law is about constant change and constant flow. So if you're going against that, yeah, the universe is going to kick your ass. And you're going to end up in all these terrible situations that really scar you. These situations will permanently transform you on a spiritual level, on a psychological level, especially if it was traumatic. The way that you viewed that situation before is not the way you view it after the traumatic situation. It's like you go through a full 360. With Scorpio energy, dark energy, or, just that intense, mysterious energy, be curious about it because it has something to teach you. And, this is where your hidden power lies. This is why Scorpio rules the eighth house. And if you have planets in your eighth house, that's where your hidden power is. But it takes traumatic experiences, the dark experiences, for you to access that power. You have to do that shadow work. Scorpio is the sign of shadow work. That's why when Scorpios come around you, you just feel triggered for something. Something in your subconscious just comes up, and your subconscious mind is activated. Your shadow is activated, and you just wonder why you just feel all these uncomfortable feelings coming up when a Scorpio comes around you. People just think that Scorpios or Plutonic energy just comes into their life to just ruin their life and just cause all this chaos. No, that is not why they come into your life, even though it may seem that way. And a lot of the times they're not doing anything. They're just bringing out your shadow and helping you face your shadow side, basically. Because that's the thing with this society. A lot of people just like to repress their emotions and their shadow and just ignore their subconscious, when really, you really need to be paying attention to these things. If you ignore these things, that could be very dangerous, And if you've watched my video that I made, I think it was 2 years ago, on how the subconscious can be dangerous, if you want more info on that, yeah, your subconscious can be dangerous, because your subconscious is what really controls what you're doing in this reality, because you're just unconsciously doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to do your shadow work in your meditations and do the spiritual work. Do, that dark work that people don't like to do. They just want to help people be better. Scorpionic energy is energy of change, and a lot of people in this society hate change. They absolutely hate it. They love their stability, they love their security, they love that Taurus energy. No shade to Taurus. You need balance. Yes, you could enjoy your worldly pleasures, your earthly pleasures, that Taurus energy, your money, your materialism, but just know that these things aren't going to last. Whether you get tired of it, it breaks, you lose it, or even when it comes to people, you have to understand other people change. Other people need to evolve and do different things in their life too. Certain relationships may end. You change. You go through different phases and seasons in your life to where you don't stay the same. So you see how this works, and what Scorpio is trying to show you is that you have to constantly evolve as a spirit. This is how you grow spiritually. If you just stay stuck in the same place, in the same mindset, in the same spiritual energy, you're not going to evolve. Whenever Plutonic energy comes into your life, that Scorpio energy, whenever it comes into your life, see it as a good thing, and see it as the universe is basically telling you that you're ready to go to the next level. You're ready to evolve past wherever you're at now. And that's all Scorpios come to show you. If you want to be who you imagine yourself to be, there's steps, it's a process, and you have to constantly evolve until you get to that point. And even when you get to that point, you're still going to evolve past that, because then you're going to have new things that you want to create in your life. But you have to learn sacrifice. And that's another thing people have a hard time with, is sacrifice. Understanding that in order to get something new, you have to sacrifice something old in your life. Because you can't bring the old baggage with you. You have to let it go so you can make space for that new energy to come in. They go through a lot of power struggles in life, and, just really just having control over their power. You know what I'm saying? Because Scorpios understand the importance of your energetic body and how sacred that is, So this is why Scorpios are so private. They're so to themselves, or they're so defensive, and, they kind of do all these crazy things to protect themselves, basically. Because I feel like with Scorpio energy, they attract a lot of narcissists. They attract a lot of low vibrational people that, they oftentimes get into power struggles with. This is why Scorpios, are very quiet, they're always observing, that they're always just sitting back, just watching. A lot of people take that the wrong way. And a lot of people definitely take it the wrong way because they could feel that Scorpio senses their bullshit. Scorpio energy could see through your bullshit. You could go cover it all up all you want to, but they could see through your shit. They could see your soul. These people have the ability to see into your soul, the depths of your soul. So it really pisses them off when people try to hide it. Why don't you just own these things? Why don't you just own up to these things? Because there's power in that. The things that you're ashamed of or society makes you try to be ashamed of is where your power is. And a lot of people need to own their power. There's power in that trauma that you went through. There's power in, those fears that you have. There's power in those things. In society, we're taught to suppress these things or be ashamed of these things, or, demonize these things. And no, absolutely not. You have to own these things. The eighth house rules other people's stuff. So inheritance and other people's things. They're talking about spiritually. I mean, yes, you can inherit money with the eighth house, that applies too, but they're really talking about energy. And when it comes to inheritance, you could inherit energy from people, whether it's a long-term partner that you're with or any partner. That's why, people who have casual sex, be mindful. But I'll get into that. But also inheritance from your family, certain traumas from your family, and your ancestry. You inherit those things. You take on those things. When you're in your mother's womb, you take on not only her energy, but energy that was transferred onto her from, past lives and ancestry and all of that stuff. You take on all those energies. So that's why the eighth house also rules debt. Scorpio rules karmic debt. So, a lot of the times when we incarnate into this life, not only do we have our own karmic debts, your mother's karmic debt, your great grandma's, or however far back your ancestry goes, you take on these things. The eighth house, when it talks about inheritance, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Sometimes you can inherit a lot of really cool hidden gifts that you didn't know you had, but you inherited it from either your mother, your grandpa, your great grandma, whoever. It doesn't always have to be bad, but a lot of the times with eighth house, you could inherit a lot of trauma, through your family line. And getting into partnerships. So let's talk about sex. Scorpio is the sign of sex, as we all know, and specifically deep soul connection sex. So what this means is that Scorpio is the kind of sign that when it has sex with somebody, it's merging. You're merging your energies together. It's a soul union. It's that really deep, intimate part of your relationship, the sex. What happens when you have sex with somebody? You're taking on their energy, basically. Everything that comes with their energy, the good and the bad. Everything that they inherited from their ancestry, their family, their own past lives, good, bad, it don't matter. You're taking on all of it. And that really shifts your energetic being in your psychology. Depending on what kind of person you're sleeping with, if they have a lot going on, just a lot of just negative stuff on them, with you sleeping with them, now you have that on you too, because you've merged with their soul. So now you're attracting what they're attracting. And this is why I said in my dating video that I made a year ago, certain people's energy is not good for you. Okay, so that's why you have to be mindful of who you're having sex with. And I know we live in a time where casual sex is a big thing, and I'm not saying that you can't explore your sexuality. That's very important to understand your sexuality. But be mindful and use your intuition on these things. If you feel, iffy about a person and, they're trying to have sex with you, I think that you should like take a step back from that person. Don't just go ahead and just do it just because, oh, I just want to have a good time, even though like, I don't know, I feel, weird vibes from this person. Your spirit's trying to tell you that's not somebody that you need to be making a soul connection with. People can do like witchcraft and stuff on people through sex. Like, I hope you guys know that. So that's another thing. You really got to be careful with people like putting stuff on you, like putting like witchcraft and stuff on you, like the bad hoodoo stuff, because witchcraft, it could be either good or bad. It depends on your intent of what you're doing witchcraft for. So just because I say witchcraft, that doesn't mean it's bad. And that's another thing that people need to stop labeling witchcraft as like it's a bad thing. It's just simply utilizing the elements of the universe, the earth, to just manifest and manipulate the energy around you for your own benefit, your own desires, whatever. So, but be mindful of like, some people, they could put like work on you through sex. So y'all need to stop playing, okay? Like, this society, like, they just make everything about sex, and they really just water it down. Society really takes away the magic and the sacredness of sex altogether, because it's just too in your face. Like, this is something that's supposed to be private and something that's supposed to be, just in a sacred space. In ancient times, they had sex priestesses, and really sex was used to just transform your psychology and your energetic being to a whole new level, to your God state, to your goddess state. That was really the whole point of sex, not just to throw it around all over the place. Like, that's what people's problem is. Like, they just take sex for granted. They don't take it as seriously as they should. All these rappers, they rap about having sex with all these girls, but really, these girls, not only do they want your physical money, but they want your energy money type shit, your energetic currency. Like, that's what they're really there for, so they could level up and be a whole baddie on Instagram flexing, But yeah, because they done took your fucking energy. That's why. And y'all just brag about it like this is a good thing, but really, they're draining your ass. So I don't think that's something to really brag about, because, there are sexual demons out there that really want to just take your energy from you. So this is why both men and women, y'all need to really start taking it serious about who you're having sex with, and not just look at it as it's like this Aries Mars energy, because Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. Like, but Aries is more about the physical act, and it doesn't care about anything else. Scorpio is about the deeper aspects of sex, So, and that's what people forget. People just pay attention to the Aries part, the physical, and then that's it and keep it pushing. But y'all are forgetting like there's that scorpionic aspect of Mars as well. So let's talk about why Scorpio is associated with trauma. And to be honest, there isn't any real reason why, in my opinion, but I just feel like this is just the role that they play in the universe. Every sign has a specific energy that plays out through the universe. So, I mean, it's just as simple as like, it just is what it is with Scorpio. And that's what people have to understand. It just is what it is. And you just have to accept their energy for what it is, because there is an importance of the role Scorpio plays in life. That energy plays an important role on how we are able to get to the point of being our best selves. You have to see the beauty in all the signs, because I feel all the signs have their purpose. Let me break down kind of just what you're experiencing when you're going through whatever traumatic experience you're going through. Like, think about it. When you're born, you come out crying. Why? Because you literally just transition from the spirit realm, and you know, being a little seed and then being in your mother's womb and then finally coming out. Like, that's fucking traumatic as fuck. Like, what do you mean? And then, you know, even when you pass on, that is traumatic because you're at this crossroads between the physical dimension and the spiritual dimension. And, you know, imagine, like, say if you died really old, imagine, like, you know, you've been in this earthly plane for a very long time and then you're finally transitioning back to spirit world, you know. That was so long ago that you came from spirit world. Now you're going back. Like, that's a whole traumatic experience because now you're like, oh my God, like, this is so weird. Like, I can't really go in depth about what people experience when they're in the process of dying, but I just know it is most likely very scary. Knowing that you're going from physical form to spirit. Like, that's fucking scary. So, you know, that is literally the energy of Scorpio, basically. That is literally the energy of Scorpio. Like, I don't know, like, Scorpio energy is just so deep. I love Scorpio energy. It's my favorite energy. And that's what I love about it because it just goes deep. You know, there's always so many layers to dig with Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of research, you know, just digging, you know, to just find the answers. You kind of just have to understand what they may be going through because Scorpio is the sign, or the Scorpion rules the sign of Scorpio. So the Scorpion basically represents like the toxicity that Scorpio tends to take on. And I feel like this is a little advice for Scorpios. It's like, if you want to get out of that, like, you can't continuously be in that cycle of like taking on toxicity and then spitting it back out through your venom tail. Whatever trauma or whatever negative feelings that you may feel towards a situation or somebody, release it, release that venom that one time and just evolve to the next level. Don't continue to, and you know, this is why some unevolved Scorpios stay the Scorpion because they just brew in that toxicity. You know, Scorpions are full of just toxicity, poison, literal poison, and that manifests it through Scorpio as they're just full of just toxicity, and they could stay like that if they don't release that poison. This is how Scorpios can get out of certain cycles, by just releasing whatever it is that is hurting them or bothering them or making them angry. If you guys just continue in that cycle, you guys are going to just stay with those toxins in your body, in your spiritual being, rather. Not your physical body, but your spiritual body, in your psychology, your mind. Because a lot of people are not going to understand the nature of Scorpio, and a lot of people are going to reject the nature of Scorpio because a lot of people don't want change. A lot of people are afraid to level up. A lot of people are afraid to level up in life, and a lot of people aren't ready. So I think that's something for Scorpios to keep in mind, that you'll meet a lot of people who are just not ready. When something dies in your life, it's permanent. It's permanent. Death is permanent. You know, at least whatever died is permanent. So where it's like, whatever was in your life before, it could no longer haunt you or hurt you or even block you once you've transformed and transcended that situation. Which is why Scorpio is also represented by that phoenix energy of just going through the fire and really burning away all the old blockages or situations, traumas, and finally transcending. I see the phoenix as like when you've entered that spiritual phase where now you're traveling into a new experience. Now you're traveling up into the spirit realm. That's why fire, it travels up. It's connecting with the spirit realm. Fire is the spirit. Your situation, your trauma, whatever it is, it's like the physical form. And then once it transforms, it's like that dies and decomposes, and then you transform into this new spiritual being, and then, you know, you take shape and form in that new experience. And that's next level detachment, because once something dies and is removed from your life permanently, you're no longer that same person. you're no longer those traumas, those emotions that you felt. You're no longer any of that. You're a brand new person. That's what the phoenix represents. Like, you're just this new, reborn, beautiful being. And that is essentially what what Plutonian, Scorpionic, eighth house energy tries to help people do in this lifetime. Okay, and that is the whole point of their energy. You know, this is the role that they play in the universe. Scorpios, they help you get to that phoenix energy, and you know, they help you embrace the process of the phoenix energy. And once you do, you'll see the beauty in enjoying things while they last, because it's gonna run its course and then you have to do something new, and then it's just always going to be that cycle, and that is life in a nutshell. That is all I have for you guys today on the Scorpionic Plutonian 8th house energy. I was just thinking about this energy, and I just want to share my thoughts on my perception on what this energy means. If you guys have any other comments or questions, leave them down below, or you could send me an email, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.